As we still compose ourselves after what was a spectacular game of Counter-Strike, Astralis Liquid just met, and we do see Liquid locked in for the SSE Arena. It's now time for the other story, and that is, of course, two greats in Counter-Strike, two teams in the top 10, FaZe and Mousesports, and one of them is going to be the second team eliminated from the Legends stage. Doesn't sound right to say, but it is absolutely the truth, and it's testament to how competitive we have, how much competition and how competitive this major has been, and how much we've seen. I'm joined by Sean Gares and Chad Birchall, who are just about getting their heads on straight again.
Working it out, we're still working it out.
I know, it was wild. But this is pretty damn crazy as well. FaZe Mouse, one of them's going home. I guess, Chad, you could help by telling everyone how we got here in this situation?
Look, the gravitas of the situation needs to really be outlined for everybody at home. These are two teams coming into this event who were already within that legend status, right? The fact of the matter is they're both star-studded rosters who should be shellacking some of the lower teams within this event. They lost opening matchups that they were potentially favored in. You could argue, a lot of different ways based on recent form, and that. But in my mind, having either of these squads go out 0-3 is not what we expected. I had both of them in my top 8.
FaZe, yeah. I mean, Sean, I'm going to ask you first just to talk about FaZe Clan, because they've recently conceded a real one-sided affair versus Big and a game versus Na'Vi.
Yeah, I was actually one of the people that came into this event expecting very high things out of FaZe, right? I know they didn't really play well at Stockholm or even E-League. They didn't play well since Olaf's come back in general. But I thought they had enough time to, practice, get some things together, get back into form. I also thought some unfortunate things happened to them at E-League when I looked over the demos. Yeah. So I thought, oh, okay, they're going to come back into this event. Everything's going to be fine. They're 3-0 their way out of groups and potentially win this major. Man, was I wrong. They did not look good against Big. But with that being said, I thought they looked pretty good against Na'Vi.
I think, if you pick into a map like Dust 2 against Big, it's an aim map. And the one thing that they lacked in that map was the aim. They weren't able to take any duels against Big and got completely styled on by GobB and the strats that they were running. Yeah. And the second game they played on Overpass, though, was much more convincing. It was more like the FaZe that we know and love. Unfortunately, Na'Vi, with that constant economical pressure, they didn't have a second, I guess, a second gear to go to. When they weren't hitting the headshots, they didn't have anything else in place.
They got 10 rounds on the CT side versus Na'Vi on Overpass, and only managed to muster 2 on their T side. That's not the FaZe we know, especially T side. Surely you just send Nico into a site and you're going to win more than 2 rounds. It's not been the case, though, as they're looking to find their footing. It's brought to you by DreamTeam.gg, and this is a roster that needs no introductions, but they're going to get it anyway. FaZe Clan, you have Nico, Rain, Carrigan, the in-game leader there. You can see him on your screens representing Denmark, and a lot of people going to be keeping a lot of eyes on him. He is responsible to be making those calls and getting those stars in the right place. The most recent return of Olofmeister, not forgetting that this guy was the Swedish god of Counter-Strike in 2015, closing in the early start of 2016. It was injury, it was personal issues, he's taken steps away from the game, and now he's looking to take one big leap back in. It's not gone smoothly just yet.
No, and there's something that I want to point out early. It's about Carrigan. When he is the guy having to go in for the entry frags and trying to make plays, that's when it's trouble time for FaZe, at least in my opinion. I like the fact that he has that level to his plan, but when, you have entry fraggers or people who can entry frag and open up the scoreboard like Olaf, like Nico, like Guardian with the AWP, and they're not doing so, there's a problem.
I do think that is a huge problem with FaZe, is that Carrigan just gives his teammates everything. He plays so selflessly. A lot of the times he always is dropping guns. He's always, like you said, jumping into sites, basically giving himself up as a free kill, and he's taking fights for the sake of setting up a teammate all the time. And doing that too much is when you run into a problem.
When you do that, though, your teammates have to deliver, right? That's the thing. If you're going to set your teammates up time and time again, they need to be putting the effort in on the scoreboard. You could say the exact same thing about Na'Vi, but then you have Simple and Electronic who deliver every game. I haven't remembered a time where Na'Vi have really fell hugely flat. Obviously, they've had some losses, but this is where the FaZe, project, I don't want to say they might need new direction, but if they lose this, they're definitely going to be looking for it.
It's been a while since I heard that decibel level reached by FaZe Clan, and it looks like the smiles on their faces. They're keeping morale high. Carrigan a big part of that, as is Roban, their coach. But focusing now on Mousesports, their opponent, who have basically got quite the interesting story, referred to as the mini FaZe. Now they meet in the server for survival. But this is a roster full of mixed nationalities. They're all communicating in English, and they made a roster change in pursuit of greatness. They were not happy with the semi-finals, with the playoffs, with the quarterfinals. They decided they needed more firepower. They decided they needed something to change those semis into lifting the trophy. Right now, it seems that that recipe was more a recipe for disaster.
And I think, you know, when you look at the way that this team is playing at the moment, they don't have an identity anymore. Before, it felt like, you know, the direction for this squad was everybody can hold their spots on the CT side. They have, you know, the clutch ability and Oscar. Just some of the things that we look to for positives for these guys appear to have fallen off in a big way. Now, sure, was the upgrade of Snacks to Steeko, or Steeko to Snacks, one that could put more skill within the team? Sure, I don't think anyone would argue that. But you do lose a player who is selfless in that regard and would set up his teammates. Have they found their footing since that change? It doesn't appear so just yet, but these two teams met recently and Mousesports were able to topple them.
Bear that in mind. Of course, that will probably weigh heavily on the minds of FaZe if they are even aware of it. Carrick are probably keeping that one quiet as they played so much Counter-Strike. Of course, it was Stockholm where we saw these teams meet. And the reason I'm kind of mumbling is because I'm trying to check Oscar's recent stats, because as I saw his face in that roster graphic was presented by DreamTeam.gg, I sat there and I was like, when was the last time I saw an Oscar game? Do you know the Oscar games I'm talking about, Sean?
Yeah.
The ones where he just 1v3s with a P250 and saves Mousesports' ass?
I do feel like lately it's been a little bit Sunny, Chris J, Robs, not so much Oscar taking over games.
Which, it's a good and a bad thing in a way that he isn't necessarily needed to, but he needs to have that impact. And we're talking about this, maybe look at the game style, or at least the approach that these guys are coming in with. When we watched them on Dust 2 yesterday against MIBR, they were getting dictated to the entire time. They had a couple of rounds where they tried to be a little bit more aggressive, but MIBR knew that was the case and was playing into their hands. So if these guys can't get away with being aggressive, do they have the base there to just play standard CS? And we saw earlier in the year where they had to mix up their Mirage because everybody figured it out. Rop started AWPing from Ticket, everything was turned upside down. So they know that they can make these changes and still be proficient. The bigger problem is, where are they at mentally? Because they haven't had the success that they had before.
Honestly, it's their coach. It's their coach and Chris J. It's, of course, the in-game leader for Mousesports alongside Lambert, their coach. It's going to be important to see if those two can just try and provide the structure you need to bounce back from a 0-2. It's the major. It's everything you've kind of worked towards. It's everything in the back of your mind when you're doing an event. You're like, majors next month, majors coming up. This is where you want to leave your mark. And at the moment, they are at risk of not being able to do so. We do have a head-to-head for you. I love this conversation, and because I love the fact that we can see that team talk. But just to quickly remind you that Olaf Meister and Sunny have been chosen to compare and contrast. No stats for Olaf, but don't worry, it's more of a conversation starter, which is brought to you by the Predator.
Yeah, and Sunny is the player from Mousesports that you always have to look out for. Both these players are actually very similar. They play like a more passive style and let the other players enter first, and then they'll follow up those rounds with like multi-frags, right?
Yeah.
They like knowing where their opponent is, and they use a lot of information and cheeky like boost and utility to find that out. So I think this is definitely the matchup to look out for. I don't know. What do you think about it, Chad?
Well, the thing with these two players is that they do have a lot of the multi-frag potential is huge for both of these guys, right? It's map specific is where we can start talking about cool things.
And you can start talking about cool things. It is Vito coming up next.
Wonderful, because like Sunny on Mirage, the way that he plays around the connector and stuff is fantastic. You know, he can have a lot of influence there. Olaf, when he picks up that secondary or third AWP for this team, can also find himself getting a lot of frags. But this one here, I think we're going to be seeing Overpass gone on the side of Mousesports. That nuke ban is standard for FaZe. Keish will probably have to go out for Mousesports as well. They got 16-1'd by FaZe last time they met. Nico had that amazing pistol ace. And if we look at a few other details here, I think Inferno should probably get out of there as well.
Probably eliminate Inferno.
So we're looking at a Mirage, a Train, or a Dust 2 most likely. And after Mouse's Dust 2 loss yesterday, I'm not sure if they'll be happy to play into that map again.
Interesting. Bye-bye Train. So Nuke, of course, phases in Insta-ban. Bye-bye Train. And
it would be really weird if Mousesports didn't ban Cash. I know they picked it in Stockholm, but they did get 16-1'd.
They got absolutely destroyed. Like, that wasn't even... Like, a 16-1 is a pantsing in Australia, you know? That's where you got run around the pool table without sinking a ball. So Inferno's gone as well. So this is where... What do we got left in the pool? We've got Dust 2. Cash. So you made me say it. Mirage. So it's either, it has to be between Dust 2 or Mirage, surely.
So we didn't see Mirage in their last best of 3. It was only 2 weeks ago.
There's your Cash ban.
Yeah, there's Cash. It's gone.
I think that Mouse has more tactical diversity on the T side. Oh, okay, well there it is. Whew. Here's the thing. Both of these teams, at some point over the last year, you could say were the best team on Mirage, and Mousesports held that mantle for a very long period of time. In more recent times, they've been figured out, and the little moves that every player have been worked out in that regard. I think one thing that Snax does bring to this Mousesports roster, on the CT side especially, is more aggression in B apps. It's not that Stico didn't do it, but Snax tends to do it more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, that is a beautiful scene set. Mirage, a map that FaZe have done some of the most ridiculous things we've seen from them on, and Mousesports were regarded as one of, if not the best in the world on. It's a game of survival, it's the major, and it's a map they're both comfortable on. Perfect.
It is indeed. Yeah, it's a perfect map. I think Rain is one of the best ticket players in the world, along with Rops. They're right there hand in hand. Best connector players in the world, potentially Sunny and Nico. These are star-studded lineups on this particular map. They have tons of history on this map.
And with that said, Sean, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but it is going to be time for your prediction, so feel free to wrap that into this dialogue of how insane it's going to be.
This is tough.
Fruitcake.
Ooh.
I deserve this.
James, this is an exciting game. Why are you talking about cake?
One of these two teams is eliminated and will not be in the next major. They'll have to qualify through the minor.
Yes, that's correct.
That's how important this game is.
So if you wouldn't mind, Sean.
I have to go FaZe. I'll go FaZe.
You can't, I mean, you guess you just can't look past FaZe Clan when it's a FaZe at the minor would just feel like life upside down.
I love how Kerrigan calls on Mirage.
Okay, Chad, what you got?
I'm just going to go with FaZe. I'm just going to go with the fact that I think that they have the fire in the belly to reverse sweep this, and Mousesports don't have a fire-up player in their team.
Yikes. Bardolph, Dan, it is that time.
Do you know what, Alex? We love Mousesports. We love this team. We've been fans of this team for ages. But the thing is, like, even on Mirage, man, I feel like this team has just fell off. Like, I don't have the faith in this team anymore. I don't know what needs to change, but I just don't, like, it took a long time, but my belief is not here right now. So I have to pick FaZe as well. I think something has to change, man. But, I mean, I don't mean, like, roster. Like, right now, they can't play their normal Mirage. You've got to do some other stuff. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully the coach has been doing some mad homework. Dan, are you going to deviate?
No, FaZe me as well. The thing is just Mousesports just aren't the same anymore. I think Stico was an integral part, and I think they just needed to give themselves time, and I think they even did it.
We were sad when Stico left.
Really,
well, we all were.
We were collectively sad.
Yeah, that made a big deal for me for Mousesports. But FaZe, I think the reverse sweep is in order for FaZe much more than it is for Mousesports in this tournament, frankly.
Cloud9 did it last time. We'll see if FaZe can do it this time. Mousesports stand in their way, and I'm going to go with FaZe as well. So that's a full 5 for FaZe. And gentlemen, James, Dan, I hope you've got a lot to shout and scream about. Otherwise, this could be a rather sad state of affairs.
This is a big match, one of the biggest matches. Old foes, one of the biggest matches of today. Old foes, like we saw in ECS Cancun, right? Sunny Cancun.
Yeah, they had a... Well, again, that was with Stico in the Mousesports lineup. But that was at the point when Mousesports were really becoming their strongest, because that era with FaZe as well was when FaZe were almost at their strongest as well. So you have to favor FaZe from that perspective to just collectively find themselves in this matchup. But you never know. It's best run. It's Mirage, and both teams are stacked with crazy good individuals. And in the best of one, the individuals, the clutches, can really come out huge.
Yeah, what the hell was I about to say? It was really interesting.
Probably about your cake again.
And it was really good, but I've forgotten what it was. The desk have been focusing in part on Oscar, and again, I think somebody mentioned about how his plays around the mid area, around the connector area. It's like the old usual, used to be the old faithful. Faith has been lost there, but I think in that respect, they have to play against expectation versus the likes of FaZe. They can't just run the usual drills. There's got to be something unexpected. I mean, Oscar's a guy that, especially the way he plays, you can put him in any position on the map, and he's still going to do something stupid, i.e. just slaughter people when most people wouldn't be able to do that. So I would like to see some more movement, some more dynamic CT from Mousesports in that respect. But
indeed. And this is a hard one to predict, James. In fact, I don't think anyone predicted that these two teams could be facing elimination from the major, but you can predict the match. Upcomer.com is where you can go and do that. Find the Upcomer app on the iOS App Store or Google Play for Android. And I mean, we're leaning FaZe, and I think, as you said, there's many many supporting arguments for that.
The thing is, it's never too late to turn it around as far as Mousesports are concerned. But going to FaZe's side, they've been habitual underachievers, I think it's fair to say at this point, especially in this tournament, which is why they are in this position. FaZe Clan will be starting on the T side.
The fire is under their asses, James.
Indeed, nobody likes, or maybe some people do. FaZe Clan will be starting on the T side very shortly indeed. All to play for those of you on Go TV. Crikey. It's taking me longer and longer to. I mean, there's just so many big players on the server.
I'm going to pick Sliggy every time.
You're going to pick Sliggy, okay?
Every time.
For those of you on GoTV, I'm going to pick Nico. I think that for my money, he is the most dangerous man in Counter-Strike, and he will need to be if FaZe are to win this game of Mirage.
I mean, obviously Sunny is also crucial here when it comes to Mousesports. Going to need to see his consistent rifling, but all these questions and more will be answered now. Mouse will start off on the CT side. I think most teams prefer to start off on the CT side of Mirage. And Sunny, talk of the devil, and he shall appear in underpass, it seems. They're going for a very fast push on the flank. I don't think FaZe will hear this because they're running all over the place. Snacks, this is what he does. The pit, well, he's not going to do anything much there. But the bomb,
oh, no!
The bomb has been left. That is not good.
It's already a 2 versus 4 situation. Oscar, seems Olafmeister knows where he is. He's been shot in the back. There is a communication there. All too late. Rain doesn't necessarily have the range for a one-shot if he jumps at the back. And how does he get into position? He may need Olafmeister to boost him from the side, but do they even know how many players are in apartments? There we go. There's the boost. He can't just jump up on the structure. He needs to go for that boost. Otherwise, it gets taken out immediately. How indeed. Instant double. Oh! Okay, Sonny. Okay, then.
See ya. You can't really.
That's something.
I mean, I guess there is no how.
I was watching Guardian's POV at the beginning of that round. He had the forward spawn for a pick towards the B bomb site. Got it with the P250, but the flank shut it down.
I didn't see the third one. Chris J, you are disgusting. That is rather sickening, isn't it? That is a strong start, though. You know, for all the shade we threw the way of Mousesports and the doubts that we had, that. You know, as you say, Jane, it's never too late to turn it around. That's a good start, but it is only a start. And the force buys come out from FaZe, and they are looking to go for a burst onto that A-bomb side. It would look like right now. Waiting though for Olafmeister to get into position. Need to time the push well, but this mid presence is pretty difficult to stop. But this is a good cue here. FaZe, no, there's pressure in middle. They have space to run onto A if they want it right now, but they have to go now.
One flash. Rob's jump peak sees 2 to 3 players on the radar. Sunny going wide. Nice engagement from him. Got to be careful of the high ground. Sunny with 3 kills so far, reloading, and Chris J will get a nice headshot with the scout. No second player in connector needed. Olafmeister now looking for some kind of damage with his CZ, but there's been almost no damage done in this round. Sunny with 3 kills, and he's almost got 90 HP. Chris J moving close with a scout. Very interesting approach from him, but he's got his pistol out, of course, and he will be the second engager. Rops with the SK YouTube setup, as I like to call it. Ever since Fallen put that setup on YouTube, everybody picked it up. There is Chris J to close out the round. 2-0 for Mousesports, and FaZe have 2 kills in these 2 rounds.
Yeah, perfect start for Mousesports, and now they're against the Glocks for FaZe. So yeah, you can't really ask for anything better than this. And one additional bonus as well is that when that force plate doesn't do any damage, you really start to build that money on the CT side, which is very important. You want to keep the AWP, or the numbers of times that you can buy an AWP, as high as possible, of course, because there's so much you can do with it on the CT side. You can get all sorts of aggressive on Mirage. It is a lot of fun, and one would expect Guardian to be doing similar madness when he reaches that CT side. I do wonder if they'll bring out the AWP immediately on the T side when they get their proper buys in. It's very difficult to do much with Glocks, James.
Yes, this is has the potential to be, rather, a nice farming round for Chris J with no Kevlar on the FaZe players. A shot above the waist is pretty much a guaranteed kill for Chris J with the scout. Always nice But now a bomb plant becomes likely as FaZe head towards the B bomb site. They've got the numbers, and Snax is the only person in B itself. Sunny is very deep towards the mid position, and Oscar was as well. Expectation towards mid, but that may change things. Pop flash, and out comes the stream. Can Sunny get it to support fast enough? They don't see Snax immediately reposition. Sunny's there for cover now, and maybe the bomb plant's not so likely after all. No frags just yet for FaZe. And that is an important thing going forward. Chris J cheekily still with only Kevlar and no helmets in that round, so he'll have to upgrade if he wants to with the... Actually, no, now it's less relevant. So in terms of money, in the 3 rounds, FaZe have got 2 kills, and that is really big because Mousesports have a full buy before this round even starts in the next round, should they lose this one. Sunny 7-0. It's a nice hot start from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, so often the focus goes to Sunny. A lot of people think he's the best player on the team. Or the most consistent at the very least. And wow, fast timing coming in. Rain going for the taps here and can't quite find too much just yet. FaZe
that's
really
cheeky.
Want to start things off quickly here.
Chris J through the smoke, taking Rain out after the initial tag. Still continuing with the scout. Again, keeping the money together. Mousesports basically have a crap buy in this situation, but they've got a 4 versus 5. Once this smoke disappears, there may be some problems. Oscar will be at limited range, falling off from his position with the MP7. Again, he is headshotable through the lip of that balcony. Nico has to be careful. If he drops into the window position, of course, that can be heard. So if Oscar, for any reason, gave Guardian a reason to think that he's there, if Guardian takes a pot shot, that will be a nice frag. The pop flash. Oh! The timing is absolutely perfect. Oscar maybe could have done with half-a-second jump, and now you see those wallbang attempts, but of course Guardian's got the kill already. But you never know, maybe another CT moves into that position afterwards. 4-on-4, 45 seconds on the clock, and the whole FaZe clan are here.
Yeah, Mousesports have gone very passive on A, so they have fast rotation. And looks like they're still trying to confirm that this is a committed play. Oh, that's a big miss from Chris. And now there's 30 seconds, and FaZe are forced into the bomb site. Nico starts to work his magic. Eliminates Chris J. Sunny gone from the site as well. The remaining players of Mousesports locked out of that B site. Now we're back in there. And the bomb will go down. And you have to give it to FaZe. They were tenacious. The fact they were just sat in apartments for so long, you don't often see that go too well, but Guardian, he knew exactly what was coming, didn't he? Looks like Carrigan didn't, though.
That's bonus money. Again, in a situation where Mousesports can buy regardless because of how few frags FaZe got in the first 3 rounds. This is farming time for Snax, farming simulator. And the T's will start to back off. Now, the bomb explosion will send any weapons up there in Snax's direction, so he may even get an upgrade out of this. Now, somebody could save in that bedroom position. There is the gun sent in his direction, so he need go no further. And there we go. The first round on the board for FaZe Clan, but again, that was the anti-force buy from Mousesports in terms of weaponry, and now comes the full buy, and what a full buy it is.
That shot from Guardian, I just don't even understand. That's amazing. Obviously, he shoots when he gets flashed, but just the fact that he just has such a good guess on exactly where Oscar is after so much time just sitting there is pretty awesome. And this is definitely an important one. FaZe do not want to be reset, and as you mentioned, we get this proper buy now. The double orbs straight away. Mousesports pulling no punches here, but perhaps a set piece to come into A, and those smoke grenades will allow them to gain a lot of ground against the AWPs.
FaZe very suggestive towards the A site, but no commitment behind it. 3 players now looking for a human waterfall out of the Palace position. Guardian lining up a smoke, Carrigan moving towards the A site as well. We've got Chris J and Sunny in the middle of mid. Now, they may check for a lurker top mid, but beyond that, there may be a 4 versus 5 on the A site, although Nico again getting nasty to start things off. Rain dropping the bomb, moving towards the fireboxes. What does Oscar choose to do?
Well, has to gain vision again. So many flashes sent his way. The bomb is on the boxes there. That's a big problem. Oscar looking to cover it. There's an incendiary thrown deep as these CTs continue to absolutely just barrage this bomb site with grenades. Big peek comes in from Sunny, but he is expected. Guardian waits. There's 35 seconds. They've got time for this, but They need to get this bomb, and they are losing players here. Guardian, can he get the shot? Oh, he spots an elbow, but somehow Oscar gets out of there in time.
Surely Guardian was at an advantage there. Took too long to take the shot. Oscar being closer to that structure in CT had a slight disadvantage from that range. And now we've got 15 seconds and the bomb is still flashing in Oscar's face like amber lamps. Snacks looking to smoke, but again, they can see the bomb. But now we've got a numbers game being run, running into Snacks' AK-47. He creates some space with the smoke, jumping straight through it, trying to stop the plant. Took a gamble, didn't work out, and Guardian will clean up the round. 4 kills for Guardian, round number 2 for FaZe.
You got to give it to FaZe there. I mean, and Mousesports, both teams hitting a stalemate with that bomb in a horrible position. FaZe even sacrificing a player. I didn't see actually who it was sacrificing themselves to pick up the bomb with 10 seconds left to plant it. Then the desperation move through the smoke. Really awesome stuff there. And this was pretty nuts. Just scoping in and out there repeatedly. Gets a very important kill. Big round from Guardian. Gets himself 4 kills and absolutely instrumental in that round win. And very fast response here from Mousesports, going aggressive in mid there. Chris J seeing if he can spot anything with the scout. Nothing just yet. FaZe will play a slower pace.
Or will they? Snacks picked off through a smoke on the balcony. He was just trying to get into position, but Game Sense tells Olofmeister to shoot. Olofmeister shoots. Olofmeister kills. Chris J on the scout once again. Oscar, though, has an AWP, trying to get something done, but Olofmeister waits for him. Painful play to fight against Olofmeister, and the same can be said for Oscar. FaZe looking to tie the score. Just one round behind Mousesports in the early stages of Mirage. Definitely not Inferno. Window smoked off. Another smoke from the CTs, I assume, in B halls, and Olofmeister continues to lurk. Look how far Rops is now. There's a blind spot if he jumps onto the right-hand side corner. And, oh, this UMP. This is a rarely checked position because you almost never see a CT here. And now with no one going towards Palace, what will Rops choose to do?
So a very good question. There's a loss of plays to make. Could be highly impactful or could fall flat on his face. Chris moves forwards there to triple. Sees if he can find something. Oh, there you go. There's a good headshot coming in, but he gets traded out. And here it is. Rops going for the flank play. They will not expect this timing. It was so fast from Rops. Sonny will take down Olofmeister, drawing more attention towards the front. Rops, oh no! Nico comes in. Perfect timing. And that is Rops dead to rights.
Olofmeister was lurking in mid, I do believe, and now he's dead. Sonny and Oscar, 2 versus 3. Not really in position. Nico seems to already be on the hunt. Nico proving to be a dangerous player on Mirage. That was such an important frag. The spatial awareness is outstanding on many, if not all, of these players. Oscar defending in B halls now, with eyes towards the TV. I would love to see statistics on, like, the TV in here. How many times it's broken per round, per game. Or in total, the crouch peek from Nico. Absolutely disgusting. That is brutal. Just what can you do? There's no answer to that. He solved the puzzle.
Wow. that is something else.
It was such a specific point he was shooting at as well.
Yeah.
That's experience.
Yeah, that's a lot of FPL, isn't it?
Nico makes it look like
games.
he's fighting bots. It's like he's placed bots around the map and he's just going around and shooting them. Do not try this at home.
Another underpass push coming in from Mousesports, doing what they can here. Oscar and Chris J, they'll push also, they'll try to in the B apartments, but they're not all that coordinated here. And Sonny, he is obviously, as you can see, the man that has the only dangerous weapon, really.
So
pretty beautiful pop flash, and I don't think it works, but Sonny still goes down. Very gorgeous stuff there from Olofmeister. He's loving life right now.
That was an amazing pop flash. Considering how low that door entrance is as well, he did very well. But again, the awareness, no assumptions being made. He knows, that's the thing, right? All these players playing at this level, they have a mental idea of where the CTs could be at all times. So despite taking 2 players out on the low ground, he knows that the area above him could have been compromised in the meantime and deals with it with that flashbang. Lovely stuff.
Rops alive with Deagle, looking to make life difficult. There's one headshot. Unfortunately, time was against him. And that will be that. FaZe, after a very very tough first 3 rounds are really shaking things up here. I shouldn't say just a very tough 3 rounds. In fact, some of these rounds have been really difficult. That's a round on the A bomb site that went down to the last 5 seconds, for example. That was some brutal stuff, but Guardian delivering when he had to. Nico's been getting some very key entries to create space for Guardian. Olofmeister's been doing really well towards the B side of the map. FaZe have the right players firing off right now.
Is that a smoke for short that Rain just deployed? We will soon find out. Ooh. Okay, it more or less is. And it's a very fast B play, being suggested by FaZe at least, but they are non-committal. Nico lurking towards the A site for now, but he's rotating away from A. So will it be another second attempt from FaZe? We've seen some rounds already where they deploy initial grenades and then just go in again. Almost like a... Well, let's see how this plays out. We have a normal spread now from Mousesports, a 2-1-2 setup. So maybe after gravitating towards B or starting to, they go back to a more normal scenario. Nobody brave enough on the CT side to look for info. And Oscar moves back into B from being near CT spawn.
They had a similar round to this before, did FaZe, just sitting in the B apartments for forever, conceding pretty much all of the map, and they somehow made it work. We remember that, we can recall that frag that Guardian made as he got flashed onto Oscar as he jumped. But such a situation will not present itself this time. FaZe will just have to go in without a pick, and just with these grenades. They have given up the map for so long, James. This is very unusual.
The smoke grenades will isolate the short player if he doesn't go in fast enough, and if he does, he's close quarters versus AKs with an AWP, which means Nax may be against a massive numbers game. Oscar battle all per time, misses the first one of those. Nax manages to get one. Can he get another one? He can't. And now the CTs are out of the sight, but Oscar manages to see one player, takes out the bomb, and he's so close to another frag. Now the bomb's going down, though.
And this is very retakeable, but Nico's lurking in middle. Nico could demolish this. You can see the camera angle there and how close it is. They suspect that there could be a flanker, but they're not entirely sure. Nico, oh, that is a tap and a half, and he's causing problems down the flank. Oscar boosted up. That is a big deal, but still, 2 players on the bomb site ready to do the damage here. Guardian and Olofmeister both have been having a great game so far. Guardian being teased there. 1 versus 3, surely not as he goes forwards with the AWP. Chris J with a running USP, and they'll have just enough time. Or will they? This will be very close. There's no kit. There's no kit, James. Oh, I think he's got just enough time. It's so close. Oh, that is quite the relief.
Crikey. When that execute came in towards the B bomb site, if you saw Rops on the radar, he was on A for the longest time. They knew that Nico was lurking somewhere. Look at this. Look, why are you doing this? Just one click. How can you have that much confidence? His own teammates say that it's so hard to watch when he just one-taps people all the time. He never misses the one-tap either. He always lands it. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Especially because there's that's first shot accuracy on the AK as well. It's not even breaking the game there with this consistency. We'll see, though, whether or not FaZe can quickly take things back here. They did a lot of damage to Mousesports in the previous round. They've been playing a very slow pace, but this round, a very fast pace, at the very least to take middle. Now things slow down once again as Mousesports take nothing for granted, hold position. And Rain opens it up there.
Massive. Rain elevated, so Oscar walks in towards the window thinking, okay, I'll get a pick here, but Rain can see his legs and takes him out. FaZe had a fast smoke on the mid side of connector actually, but in the elevated position so the CTs could not look over it, which allowed, well, it helped Rain get into this very fast position. Chris J, he's teased, he sees a slither of someone as the bomb rotates towards A. Actually, Guardian will drop it for Olofmeister because they don't know if the ramp is clear just yet.
And Rain did not see Chris J, and he's moved very far forwards. If there is a pop flash, Rain picks up another one. Surely Chris J can even it. Level the scales, perhaps. There's number 1. Now, what else can Chris J find here? FaZe have 40 seconds to go towards the bomb site, and they're moving towards A, where Chris J is at the moment with the AWP. But, oh, they think it's B, perhaps. He's going through the vents. We'll have to see. Indeed, he's going to go over towards B. Rops, though, with the AWP on A, slows things down.
Carrigan offered a few grenades towards the B bomb site to start to pull that rotation, but now Snax knows it was all lies. He was being told fibs, fake pictures on a dodgy profile. Olofmeister and Nico now around the A site. Nico still in Palace. Really hard to look out from there. Rops misses his shot though. Carrigan with a 2K, and he's turned this round around. What the hell's going on? Only 14 seconds on the clock.
This game is really interesting, James. The style, I mean, again, you always say styles makes fights, right? And we've seen multiple rounds now where we'll have a fast start and then everything slows down into just tension. We see the round building here. Rain gets 2 in very important picks. Chris J slows him down slightly. Rops slows him down even more towards that A site. And then for Carrigan to turn it around with a clutch 2K. And look at the result. Nothing left in the tank now for Mousesports after that good start, and FaZe are in a very powerful position.
This is an absolute toilet round for Mousesports. They're using numbers to get 1 frag, but I mean, it's like a pigeon trying to make its way through Lebanon. It's just not happening. Too many guns pointed at the sky. 3 people survive for FaZe Clan. Crikey. It's looking really difficult for Mousesports. FaZe are all over this at the moment, although we have seen some clutch plays. Now we've got 2 AWPs out. Oscar appears to be in the nude. He's got no money to wear clothes in this round, so he will be vulnerable. And these double AWP plays haven't really had the impact they might have liked. There is a tactical timeout from FaZe. Limited utility from Mousesports. Now, are we going to start to see some more aggression from Mousesports moving into what is traditionally T territory? We saw one round where they had 2 plays in the middle of mid, Mousesports. Do we see some vintage Snacks plays towards the B apartments? Maybe not with Olofmeister lurking. Even with a smoke down, Snacks isn't safe. There are 5 deterrents on the T side, and they're called FaZe Clan.
Yeah, it's been difficult for Mousesports for sure, and thankfully, due to that start they had where they got so much money, we have seen a lot of buys and a lot of AWPs from them, and this round is no different. But it has to win at some point. This could be it. Chris J goes forwards there, looking to go under the smoke. The quick smoke of his own there to stop the Molotov and keep himself out there. But the flashes will cover the approach here for FaZe and force Chris J back. You can see quite how important those the utility is in middle, and that meta game around connector super important to understand. FaZe will take mid-control. Chris J back at it again, though. Desperately desires, wants, yearns for a pick here early in the round.
Those are very scary peaks to take as well, because you are expected. Especially in a team with snipers such as these. We see the resurgence of the Chris J AWP on the Mousesports team of late. Grenades in the window, grenades towards connector as well for the safe taking, or safer taking for the T side. There's a pop flash from a teammate as well. And Rain makes sure that no one is in there. And now we have the seeking of information, but will they go further than this? Again, that is the MIBR setup, but Sunny has flashed himself out. So they've had a look towards the ramp. Now, FaZe Clan will hear that there was a flashbang on A. Do they have a read that Mousesports are looking for information? Does that speed up their play?
Indeed, less than 30 seconds. Oscar repositioning here. Will there be any grenades to cover this? Looks like nothing. Still open window. Less than 20 seconds now to get that bomb planted. It's on the ground. Well, it's been planted now by Nico. Once again, in the nick of time here for FaZe. A 4v4. Everyone in the shop here for Mousesports. How do they get in?
It's got to be a save.
There's 2 choke points and 4 players to go through them. There's surely no way. Oh my God, Chris J. Quick trade though from Nico. Keeps him honest. Doesn't look like there's really much here for Mousesports to do, but they still keep trying. Pushing forwards now. They are really going for this. But as you say, James, maybe they should have saved because they are getting absolutely annihilated here. 2 versus 1 Oscar. Wants that last kill, but he will be absolutely denied. FaZe hold on to the B-bomb site, and they pick up round number 7.
Why is he even going for the duel there? I don't know. They have lost now 7 of the last 8 rounds. They had no position. They had no flashbang. The only grenade they had was a smoke. I don't believe they had a defuse kit either. Now, you can see the angles they were holding in market with 2 AWPs. They're looking for an opportunist frag. Chris J does well to get one going further than you might expect, but gets traded immediately. So, for me, that was suicidal. And, again, it's a team who has struggled with leadership, in-game leaders and so on. And I feel like you have to have someone there who makes the call to save, because that was pure suicide. They've thrown all their weapons away. Now they have another 3 round to FaZe. Whereas with 4 players surviving, they could have either bought around, or if they want to keep their money, there's only one guy who may be somewhat short. So, I mean, they got completely outmaneuvered in the B bomb site. You saw Oscar in the market window, looking towards the balcony, and also looking towards short, scoping in, scoping out all the time. Like, you just got to give it up sometimes.
Sometimes you got to hold your hands up and know when your beats. Money again in the tank from Mousesports for another go of things as FaZe take the tactical timeout, and that's an interesting one. All the fights are actually very close to $16,000. The money in the FaZe camp obviously very good, as you can now see on your screens.
So I mean, you can see Mousesports are going to buy in this round regardless. In that respect, with 1 player down, I mean, maybe you don't buy with that player, but you could save up to 4 weapons in that previous round. For me, that is a straight save. You have no position, you have no flashes, you have 2 AWPs on a 4-man retake, all from market. If they don't give you up a frag to edge you on, I mean, Chris tries to make it happen, but even when he goes down, there's still 3 people who can still save there. And then 1 person, so let me go and repick this guy in window. Like, what is the impact of shooting that guy? Doesn't have a kit, so he's not going to win a round. You have to wonder where the mindset is.
I was just going to say, yeah, it could be telling of that mindset. It's a stark contrast to the Liquid Astralis game we just saw. Both teams incredibly disciplined, fighting tooth and nail. The pressure never getting to either one of them as far as mistakes being caused due to that pressure. And, well, FaZe holding passively here, looking for another regression. Maybe they are sensing a desperation in Mousesports. Mousesports do have a very fun setup here, but again, Guardian waits.
This is always a good approach to the top of mid. If you have an eye on your teammates' economy, your opponent's economy, especially for eco rounds, I mean, there's a risk that a CT side might rush mid, for example. So just for those of you at home, when you have control, you've got the money, you've got the weapons, it's nice to have a passive start sometimes to your approach to top mid, so you don't get rushed by people with 5.7s, flashbangs, and so on and so forth. Very patient start for FaZe, and you can see Mousesports not going too far, because with no action anywhere across the map, they know that there's probably somebody watching mid. But they've had this position before, and FaZe Clan executed into the A bomb site. Now we see Guardian rotating. I don't believe Chris J is close enough to hear the rotation from his position. So now what's going to happen? 35 seconds, practically nothing has happened. Beyond the players in mid, we've got no seeking of information. Last time they executed, there were 2 players CT, 2 players mid, so it was a 4-on-5. Well, Spice is lurking top mid, now gets taken out. Is that enough info for the CT?
Yeah, once again, just leaving it to very low amounts of time here. Guardian will be arriving finally, and he's been, again, instrumental to some of these A takes. Rops will be Molotov away, and that is going to create just enough time to plant the bomb here. No room for error there. If he'd been taken down, that'd be that. But they get to play the retake here, Mousesports. Nico holds down the flank against Sunny. Unhappy, that took 2 bullets, James, instead of 1.
Again, they've got no 4 plays left. They've got no defuse kit. They need to get on this bomb quickly. And where is it planted? Is it planted for default, or is it planted for the inverse? Carrigan's position may suggest the latter. 10-second defuse coming in. That's a great flick from Guardian, but he needs more. So close, almost sees it. Mousesports managed to frag all of FaZe Clan and just about defuse the bomb. That is such a low percentage situation. However, they only survive with 2 players. They have 2 sniper rifles. And now FaZe have a chance to reset them for an easier 10-5. Only 2 rounds left in this half.
Yeah, this was very, very close indeed. That's a stunning shot from Chris J. Again, if he obviously... Oh, wow, that is also very nice. Pulling out all the stops here to give them a fighting chance moving into that next half. I should say more than that, you know, Mousesports, they can play a T-side Mirage. So, although it's been quite difficult, and if we, again, remember that 3 of Mousesports' rounds come off that pistol, there's definitely been a struggle. But here comes another fast play in towards A. Sunny now waits on triple. And Rops to play off of by Shadow is definitely going to be a strong setup here for Mousesports. Ooh, Rops taking some bullets there, forced to come out of his hidey hole, and Guardian will take him down, but Sunny still doing damage. Quick pop flash over the top to look for more, but there is no more just yet.
moving through the site with the cover of the smoke grenades. Palace was smoked earlier. Olofmeister was running backwards and forwards to create presence. He had to rotate all the way around, so there's no high ground advantage. Olofmeister will trade, though. There's another one for him. Where are the last two players? They may not expect another player on the site. 1 minute mark. Olofmeister on the high ground. He is very exposed. Snacks will hear him moving down into Sandwich. Snacks having to use Chris J for bait. Will he pick the right time to peek, however? Complete focus on Chris J, but he's rotated his position. Snacks having a look, and now Chris J is in a better position. So if Olofmeister tries to punish him, Chris J is there, moving through triple. Olofmeister's ready for him, though, and he's got the bomb. It's a long rotation. It's not a guarantee that he goes towards B. What on earth does Snacks do now?
That's a very good question. It is such a hard situation to read. It's just such a 50-50. Do you sit still? Well, if you sit still, then you don't risk getting caught out, like rotating out of position if Olofmeister was going to the same bomb site at a delayed timing. You can see that Snacks is playing it the safest possible way and just doing that, sitting in the same position. But he is soon about to have a very red face here.
Oh no, he's running away. He's got to go back for a kit. He has to go back. There are two kits right in front of him, and his team communicate it. Picks up some utility on the way. It's so important that they said kit, kit, kit. Olofmeister inside the apartments. Now, where is the bomb planted? That will maybe give a clue to Snacks. He has a smoke grenade as well as a defuse kit, though. It appears to be the default plant. Olofmeister, you can see him tracing the sound with his crosshair. There is the smoke. Snacks uses a cover of the boxes. Olofmeister has the right angle. There will be no chances for Mousesports given for free by FaZe. 9-5. And the reset is there once again.
Beautiful round from Olofmeister as well. I think that's for the... Did he get 4 there? Very nice indeed. Indeed, that was a 4K. That brings him to 30 kills, James, 3 assists, and 7 deaths. Olofmeister is officially elite here in this elimination match. We'll see if that continues, though. The Mousesports buy in this last round of the first half is quite... It's something. It is quite something. And once again, we've seen a similar pressure towards the B side. We have 2 in underpass and a potential push in the B apartments itself. But there is actually no one in the B apartments. So Olofmeister has been really cognizant of pretty much all the plays. Ooh. Oh, that is instant. There's nothing you can do about that.
That's one. I mean, if they can win this round, which is bloody unlikely, then it's a pretty close scoreline, as good as it has looked for FaZe. Weapons takes away the numbers game. The wide peak, but Carrigan is so ready today. He is delivering, the in-game leader. You talk about the other 4, but those are important frags for Carrigan.
Yeah, that's the AK out of the hands of Mousesports for now, although Snacks has gone looking for it. Has it been disposed of? No. It is on the ground. Perhaps it's a bait. Questions there for Snacks. So he finds a FAMAS, and FaZe have bigger fish to fry than to worry about a singular AK. As they go back towards A here, looking to split through connector. Snacks' timing could be huge, and Oscar serves the bait for Snacks, perhaps, as Snacks watches the cross. Oh, Guardian, how is he ready for that one? Oscar still gets a frag to make good of it, but it's just Oscar left now.
That frag from Nico might just beat around. They know where Oscar is. They've got a double tingle. One player's got a grenade in his hand. Pulls out the AK, and that is good for a 10-5 scoreline, and we see some frustration there. That wasn't the most enjoyable game of Counter-Strike, or half rather, for Mousesports, but Sonny is smiling, and he's been delivering. He's got 12 kills in that half, and he's so important. Often the swing player for a good or bad performance for Mousesports. 5 rounds moving into the T side, and they may breathe a sigh of relief because that was a lot of pressure on their CT side.
Yeah, and as far as Mousesports goes, Chris J has been putting up numbers as well as Sonny, but we haven't seen too much from anyone else from the fragging department. And part of that is because of the way FaZe have been playing very effectively. They're having these really fast and then slow rounds, switching up the pace, loving some of the action we've seen out of Guardian. That's been very important with the AWP early on to get that momentum going. And then that momentum kept by Nico and Olofmeister and Carrigan and Rain. So FaZe, they can start off well with a pistol here. Maybe they can close this game out, but Mousesports have a lot of fight left in them, James.
Sonny, oh, okay, never mind. Not Sonny anymore. Olofmeister, of course, are going to clips 5 versus 4. He is by that van position. In the meantime, the bomb's made its way towards A, so they've pulled FaZe Clan out of position, planting inverse default, which means it's exposed to jungle, connector, ramp, and so on. But now what do they do?
Well, that is a good catch there from Rops, lurking around. 4 players left here for FaZe, though, as they make their way forward. It's not hazarding event push. Very exposed. Oscar is waiting there by the window. Carrigan looks to isolate him. Out comes the decoy there as the bomb is tapped, forcing Oscar back into position. Snacks will catch one. Nico doing some damage with the help of Guardian. Up to Rops now, 21 HP. Can he make this one work? He's got to get headshots. Headshots not in time, unfortunately, for Rops or Mousesports as FaZe pick up the pistol, evening it to a pistol apiece.
Oscar's got to be frustrated with that. It was a free frag for him, and he didn't get anything from that position whatsoever. But that's one round. It's come and gone. You got to focus on the buy rounds to come at this point. Ooh, they got the bomb plug. Ooh, we have a juicy situation. Let's have a look. So we have 2 AK-47s out for the Mousesports side. This is a Nico round, but maybe because of the score, they don't want to wait for another round. What can they do with these 2 AKs?
Yeah, Snacks sacrificing himself and his money completely. You can see he's got no Kevlar. All he's got is a flash and then a Glock. Sad times for Snacks, but he's doing what he must for the team. Chris and Sonny have been the big performers here so far for Mousesports. Makes sense that those are the 2 with the rifles. We know how incredible they both are with them as well. Lots of utility here. And they are not wanting to show anything. They might show Snacks just to make it look like a full eco. And that's part of the reason why you want to sacrifice Snacks' equipment. And Snacks can also potentially use that flashbang to distract towards B. Still holding on to it though, and he rotates back towards Spawn to help his team out. And FaZe, they are just taking no risks here. They're just waiting to react.
The waiting game. What is the magical time on the clock for Mousesports? Who leads the charge? Is it the Pistols? Do they try to make their way towards jungle, towards CT, with some flashes here and there? They need to be close quarters. Snacks with a Glock and no Kevlar. Probably dropped a weapon for a teammate. Rain looking for something over the smoke. Can he be spotted? Snacks taken out. No surprise there. 4 on 4, however. Just stay close. Is there a pop flash for him? No, there are no grenades at this point for Mousesports. He hears the reload while Olaf Meister covers. That was almost great for the CTs, and Chris J gets 2. This is a great opportunity for Mousesports. 4 versus 2 now. Carrigan with an MP7 and Nico with the M4A4 to try and bring this one back.
Yeah, Nico is still alive. That's always an issue, isn't it? Finds one, takes minimal damage. Where are the other 2 here? Pressuring the bomb with the smoke. Again, so many players. Where the hell are they? He does have Carrigan in the back, but Carrigan's got his back to Rops. That's going to be no good there for FaZe, as Nico perhaps is looking a bit too difficult here, but they're running around. Nico gets himself a fast 2, but he hasn't got time to go for the bomb, but he'll settle with the damage, and he'll keep his M4 in play as well, and deny Mousesports from saving any guns, except for Oscar with the FAMAS. So, good job from Mousesports. They did take some damage, however.
I'm not sure if the smoke was to try and draw the players up to try and win the round, or to try and keep them there, contain them somewhat to, I don't know, maybe one explodes with the bomb or something, but Rob says no. You can see he's very focused. Some ominous tweets from him before this week as well, which makes you wonder. 5 rounds lead for FaZe Clan. May soon be shorter. They have had some investment in this round. Guardian's got a scout out. Very fast play towards the B bomb site. Very nice idea to break anything they might have in mind, but Carrigan gets up to a good start. He gets 2 kills out of it. Carrigan's playing out of his skin at the moment, and he's looking for a 3rd kill. He's still alive, and there it is. Massive plays from Carrigan, and this spins it around. Sonny with 30 HP versus 3 players.
That is enormous from Carrigan. How on earth did he find the path, the safe route through the bomb site? So much danger lurking. And now there's just one more danger left. Sonny with the AK finds himself some damage, but he is just so critically low. And FaZe right now taking nothing for granted here. They're going to make him go deep for the bomb. They know they have the advantage, and they know that he has to plant. So they don't have to do too much. Oh my god, opportunity there. Nico didn't land a single bullet. You can't say that every day. That's now it goes down to 2, and Olaf Meister critically weak as well. Sonny, we know how good he is. There's a chance here now, as he tries desperately to make this one work. They cannot allow this round to go sour. Still trying to find those players desperately. It's so difficult to try to isolate them, but he has time. Oh, he finds another one. That's Olaf Meister dead. 1 more to go. Rain, he's got a deagle. One bullet does it. Sunny! That is incredible. The patience and the focus. That's absolutely what Mousesports needed.
That is absolutely unbelievable. I see him trying not to smile there, but I see a right one. That is fantastic from him. I think that would be a really cool round for a pro or an ex-pro to break down and try and explain to a viewer what he is thinking. Once he knows where people are, what he's thinking, what's going through his mind, because there's so many decisions and estimates to go through. Fantastic recovery, and that really keeps Mousesports in this game, mentally as well as score-wise. Oh, look, they're going for exactly the same round. I love to see this, I really do.
Yeah, it's a bit sad, isn't it? Because after seeing Carrigan with the heroic efforts with the MP7, you kind of want to see him get rewarded for that. But unfortunately, Mousesports, oh, hello, they're here to smash FaZe. And that is what they shall do.
Bearing in mind, the loser of this game is out. Just think of the pressure on Sunny's shoulders to clutch that round.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But also, of course, for those wondering, if you think they're mad doing exactly the same round after they had so many issues, you could argue quite reasonably that this is the last thing FaZe expect them to do. The exact same thing that they just almost fail-boated at. And this time, Mousesports will stay afloat.
Sunny has a lot of things on his shoulders, James, including gold chains. And he wants more gold chains. There's only one way to do that, James. To win a major. That is the best way. Although it looks like the gold chain has come off here. And the gloves are certainly off as well for both teams. As James mentioned, there's no greater pressure for teams of these calibers, of these rankings. No greater pressure than to be threatened to be eliminated way too early from the major.
Speaking of double sniper rifles, now it's FaZe's turn. Olofmeister and Guardian, of course, Nico can pick up a sniper if he wants to as well. Carrigan used to some time ago. On occasion, Rain cannot have his teammate trade for him. Inopportune time for the grenade to come out, but Nico's still alive. He has position, he has the bomb, and now he longer has neither, but Guardian's still in the CT position. Now he can choose to hold an angle diagonally across the site through triple if he wants to. He chooses to fall back for the retake. The flashes will deter him anyway. But now the smokes disappear. There are two more for Mousesports. I would imagine one might go towards this jungle position. They need to get the bomb down. There's the first one in CT, but do they plant the bomb? Guardian could jump over the top. It will be the inverse plant. A brave attempt. Oh, Guardian doesn't know if he can, and he won't.
Yeah, that was, I mean, brave. FaZe, you got to gamble that they're just going to wait for you to plant. Look at this lurk timing that could be installed later on here through Sunny. Oscar defending from the pit. He has to make noise. He has to get shots hit. But Olofmeister eviscerating Sunny straight away with that AWP. And now life starts to get difficult. But will they expect a second lurk? Snacks is coming. And Olofmeister, he's not going to be looking this time. He will surely get caught by Snacks. Oh my god, I don't believe it. Olofmeister gets him, and that defuse comes straight in. Olofmeister, he is not going to be denied this round. That is a beautiful display of sniper skill. And that is one of the reasons why Olofmeister is scary. Just put anything in his hands, and it will be very dangerous. And here it is, just catching that lurk out of Sunny. Snacks misses the spray, and he's going to regret that one because that could have made the difference. If he kills Olofmeister there, he can get an angle on the bomb, and maybe this round goes the way of Mousesports.
FaZe Clan are only 4 rounds away. Only 4 rounds away. This is a bad situation for Mousesports. They have money, but they can't really afford to lose that many more rounds. Success has been brief for them, both in the first half. Beyond the pistol, they won 2 rounds. Here they had a string of 3. Second defuse, there have been 4 bomb plants at the very least in this half. So Mousesports are having some success, although some of them are the early rounds, which may not count so much as this continues, but here we go. 3 AWPs on the server. Oscar with 1 now. With Snacks' spawn, I do wonder if we'll look for a fast engagement towards the B area, because if the CTs were jumping on a wooden box, then they would be spotted. But with the likes of Olofmeister and Guardian, maybe you don't want to do that. Nice pop flash support for him to get into position. And now he can easily fall off after taking a shot. It will be very difficult indeed to frag Olofmeister without a flashbang.
and they wait. Defensive smoke there to slow things down, and incendiary as well. Everything baited out there for Karrigan. And there's only so much utility here left for Mousesports. Ooh, Olofmeister will miss the first shot. That's one player pass, that's two. And the entire team now as it follows. Snacks gets burned by Chris Chase. Molotov, that is not a good sign. Olofmeister getting burned alive. Everyone on fire at this point. Rain somehow managing to escape the flames as he takes the corner. And oh, Sonny, he's found quite the angle there, James.
Yeah, that was a really nice spray from him, but he can't finish it off. It's Guardian after all. 1 versus 2 is Oscar now. This is madness. There are grenades all over the shop, moving into position. Guardian, does he go deep? Looking for an edge, the slightest edge. He knows Guardian's around the market area. That will allow Guardian to jump out if he wants to, but Guardian has reasonable cover. Oh, what a great bait from Oscar, but he still has a round to win. 35 seconds. Guardian repositions time and time again, and Rain gets kill number 3 for round number 13 for FaZe Clan. 3 rounds away from survival for the time being.
It's only fitting that Rain is the one to survive with all the flames just burning everyone. I think 2 or 3 players getting burned alive there. You can see just how much is going on here. He couldn't even really move. He just stuck to the bin. Still manages to make it work for the 3K. Very strong performance there, anchoring, well, not even anchoring the site, but coming in and saving the day as the anchors were drifting away. And now FaZe, it really feels like this has been their game, James. After the first 3 rounds, it's just felt like, you know, we saw, as you mentioned, in Mousesports throw away some good buys, trying to go for crazy retakes, and FaZe have looked so determined. And we've seen everybody turn up for FaZe too.
Yeah, Karrigan definitely leading the charge. We've seen some great plays from him. They haven't always won a round, and it's not lighting up the scoreboard, but they have been really important. And I think that's just great to boost your team as well, because they know that they are supposed to do heavy lifting, but when Karrigan's doing that as well, it's just good for everyone. It's just good vibes, man. It's just good vibes. 1 AK and a bunch of pistols. This is a well-equipped round for Mousesports in terms of utility. They know that they can't really give up any more rounds for free, so gambles will be taken. Now you see a slow Mousesports approach at the beginning of the round to avoid some initial grenades from FaZe and also deal with any aggression. FaZe may be choosing to impose their will, but not for now. They will wait patiently. Karrigan on a balcony towards B. That's about as aggressive as it gets for the time being. No one in the window for FaZe, and that means that they won't know if anybody's in the underpass either.
Mousesports gravitate towards that A-bomb site. FaZe, once again, playing just a reaction game. Holding position, playing retake pretty much everywhere. Got a deep angle into the B apartments, but they have no info on mid, and that's always very scary, but for them, soon they won't have to worry about it, because in comes the set piece from Slope and from the balcony from Palace. Guardian, will he go up on top of the box there? It's so often looked for. It's very risky. You've got to be careful with that one. And Mousesports, they'll take the site. FaZe play retake.
Even if they get the bomb down, what is the post-plant play? Chris J, we've seen him here before. Surely Guardian gets a frag if Chris J goes for it. Is there a flash? There are 2 flashbangs. Here comes the first one. And there we go. Wide. Really concentrating on it. He gets it eventually. Rain to trade, though. The Molotov will try to force him out of his position, but the smoke will give him more cover. Sonny taken down in the meantime. A 4 versus 3. Oscar's on a late lurk in the mid position. Karrigan and Nick and Nexa could be vulnerable, but his team has to survive in the meantime. And now Sonny's snatched on the site. He can't get any frags. And Oscar's got to do so much. And obviously he won't. Too many man. He's only got a deagle. 14-8 in favor of FaZe.
I was actually surprised, though, that Guardian went down, because Rain was playing anti-flash. Because that smoke is so often going to be flashed through, so you have someone playing anti-flash. You don't want it to be the sniper necessarily, because he has the gap to play with. Oh, but I guess just Rain just missed the first couple of shots. Doesn't matter though. It didn't spiral out of control for FaZe. It's Mousesports who are losing control of this match. Oh man, Olofmeister is really on point, and that is just, I mean, who doesn't love to see that?
I do enjoy to see Olofmeister with a sniper rifle. It is fun. He is really good. Sends the reminders out there every now and then, and these are painful reminders for Mousesports, because these may send them to the airports.
Ooh, that smoke, James, that was not supposed to go up there. That was supposed to be at the end of the platform, and now Karrigan has free vision.
Not this time. Ding dong. We've got an exchange, and it's Oscar and Sonny to try and stave off match point. Guardian not quite finding a mark just yet, but Oscar is completely exposed and he gets taken out for free. Olaf Meister with the AWP, the ring of the sniper rifle across Mirage, almost always in favor of FaZe Clan. Sonny now in a 1 versus 3, and Guardian may soon take him out. He's in a short position. Sonny looking at the right time though, but Guardian goes back, he no fear. Match point FaZe, survival point FaZe.
Yeah, and that's a shot where Sonny knows that at that point his position's been given up. He might as well try to go for it.
Oh man!
And that's kind of a big deal because that smoke is supposed to help you sort of fake the rush in. Although I'm not sure if it would have played too much of a difference into the round, but you don't want to see that.
It's like you're the last guy of all your mates. You're about to walk into the club and the security guy just stands in front of you.
No.
No. Not with those shoes on, lad.
This could be it, James. Could be the last round for Mousesports here. It comes down to CZs, a Galil, a Deagle, and a bag full of utility. That's all they have. They have mid control as well, and they're looking to split into the A site, but FaZe, they have been looking so indomitable now.
Last chance saloon. Mousesports have to double their score at this point without losing a single round. They've lost a player already in an ill-equipped round. These AWPs, look how desperate it is. Look how desperate it is. More pigeons flying in the sky, getting taken out by the likes of Guardian. And there it is. Mousesports are eliminated and FaZe survive for now.
Yes, FaZe, they looked really good in this matchup. You know, Mousesports had some great rounds here or there, but again, that feeling from the beginning, we just saw that fire under FaZe's arse, and honestly, everyone was responding to the call. After the first 3 rounds, we had Guardian with an amazing 4K, Nico getting the one key frag to get Guardian into those positions, and then Olaf might have started lighting up, and FaZe came alive, James. Mousesports, they looked dejected though, and they were playing in a desperate position the whole time.
I mean, they got 8 rounds on the board, but if you ignore the pistol, they got 5 rounds on the board out of 24.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what needs to change for Mousesports.
Since Stico left, James, they lost their mojo, and it's just not been the same. You just feel like you need to reinvent.
Faces. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, it's sad. We are big fans of the Mousesports side, but who knows where they are right now?
Yeah, I think Mousesports, one of the mistakes that was made is just like rushing it, and you got to take this is what I love about Counter-Strike though. You know, if you rise to the top and you rest on your laurels, someone's going to come out and just work harder than you and take it away from you. So, and I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the teams with the best approaches starting to skip those tournaments, starting to get that, resting up, taking stock and just saying, okay, we have a great team. We don't need more firepower necessarily. We just need a good approach, a good culture, and look at Team Liquid.
Freya is with Carrigan from FaZe Clan.
That is exactly right. I am here with Carrigan from the winning side, FaZe Clan. So the guys were saying on the desk, this was a pretty unbelievable 0-2 matchup. What were your preparations like coming into this?
Yeah, I think the last few times we had issues with Mouse, so we came into new energy and new belief that we can actually do this. We have been here before, 3 of us, in the 0-2 game. Last time we crashed out, and this time we want to fight. And I think we get the inspiration from Cloud9, who won the major last year by being 0-2, so let's try that way.
So talking about your T side, to start off with, it was pretty back and forth, but you guys ended up with 10 solid rounds. Was there a point where you just found your momentum?
I mean, we lost a pistol and they only won like 2 weapon rounds out of the remaining, so I think we played pretty good as a team. On the T side, we had a good game plan going to the match, and we just executed good, and that's what happened when everything flows. But the whole feeling in the team was different today than yesterday on the T side, so I'm just happy to be here with 1-2 now.
I kind of wanted to talk a bit about your game plan on that T side. It seemed like you guys were kind of leaving it quite late to execute strategies and go onto the site. Was that kind of to test Mousesports and to test their mind games?
I think just what we talked about yesterday was that even when there's like 20 seconds left, we don't have to panic. I panicked a lot yesterday, so I tried to work on that, and we just played together as a team. And I think everybody on the team hit their shots today, and there was no stress. Maybe it's because we actually have some pressure on us, and then we play better as a team. I don't know. So I'm just happy. I don't know what to say.
Just speaking about that mentality briefly, has that been an issue for the team, trying to keep calm under stressful situations?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I can call her stressful, and that's cause issues in communication since we are speaking English. So we're trying to work on that. Every team has a problem, and we try to keep on working on it. Right now, we just don't want to overthink it. That's what we've been doing since E-League and Stockholm. So right now, we just have to give everything we can, and if we go out, at least we gave everything we could.
Now, just moving on to the CT side, I want to talk about round 18. You've got to give it to Sunny, where he got that incredible patient 1v4 on the B side. How did you guys answer back to that?
I don't know. I felt like we had the round. I mean, we killed them when they came out B and won on 3. And as far as I know, the information was that Sunny was kind of low. But I think we played the situation bad, maybe too scared, instead of just fighting together. That's something we can analyze today, and hopefully we can do that situation better tomorrow, because you just have to improve day by day. And if you don't do that, you go home.
So you guys now have that crucial 1 win under your belt, but you don't have any lifelines left. What are you going to be focusing on going into tomorrow's match?
I mean, we have been facing pretty tough opponents. Right now, I think we faced 3 teams in top 9. So hopefully from now on it's going to be a little easier, since it's been a little tough for us. But in the end, if we play like we have done the first 2 days, we'll be out tomorrow. If we play like this today, we will go to the playoff 100% sure.
Thank you so much for your time, Garrick, and congratulations again on that win. Alex, over to you at the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Freya and Carrigan there, who doesn't look like a player who just won and survived. It looks more like sadness, relief, and a long road to the playoffs. The top 8 still out of reach for FaZe, but they survive, and that's what this game was all about. Mouse going home. I mean, FaZe versus Mouse was crazy enough, but to see Mousesports, one of the first teams eliminated from the major. The reason I'm stuttering is just because I'm trying to get my head around it. Mousesports, there's a lot of surprising teams from the challenger stage and everything else, and it's Mousesports that are the second team eliminated from the FACEIT Major.
I definitely think Mousesports needs to go back and hit the drawing board on this one. A lot of things just aren't working with the current iteration of their lineup. In my opinion, I think Robs is way underused on this team. I think they need to move him from the solo sites that he plays, get him in the center of the map more, get him more involved in plays. And I know that's going to be hard with players like Sunny and Chris J having those spots right now. But I would like to see him, out of the inner bomb site on Train, out of A site on Mirage, out of B site Dust 2. He's playing all of the hard roles, and he always has.
Yeah, it's a rough pill to swallow. It's a very somber moment to be losing Mousesports right now, but this game, there was a lot of mid-round. The bomb got planted a lot. There are a lot of the rounds where if 1 or 2 kills went the opposite way, Mousesports could have capitalized and taken control of the economy. But today, the individuals of FaZe Clan stood up, and they definitely were accounted for. And I think Olofmeister, for me, with that AWP on the CT side, he was hugely influential. Nico in the first half stopped a lot of flank plays coming in that could have unraveled those post-plant situations. So those 2 guys I look towards and say, you guys did fantastically, and they had a lot of impact.
I think Guardian as well in the early gun rounds, getting those opening picks at Car B, even at Ticket Booth at A on one of the retakes. He had a lot of impactful early kills.
Yeah, Sunny and Chris J, I could hear them. I sat down here and watched the whole game, and they were playing off each other very well. You could see that when they were buddied up and they were able to trade well, and they had good games as well. But the thing that I want to talk about, and it sucks to end the game in this way, it's just you could see Carrigan there in that interview. He looks like down, right? And that, I think I didn't hear much communication coming out of him, not in the sense of he was obviously comming what he needed to comm, but everybody else was getting loud, and he was just sitting there. If you watch that camera of him on the entire time, when they were talking in freeze times, he kind of just was sitting like this with the hand on his face, and everyone else was doing all the discussion. I don't want to sit here and theory craft what could potentially be going on within this team, but him saying that he panicked a lot yesterday, I don't know if that's like a humbling moment for him, or if he's just said, hey guys, you take over from here, play individual, you guys make the calls, and I'll just fill the gaps. But it feels like a weird place to find FaZe in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a lot of the answers we're looking for tomorrow. And of course, we need to know what game they're playing tomorrow as well. I think we're going to take a look at that head-to-head first of all, though, just to get that housekeeping out of the way. It's brought to you by The Predator, which is in cinemas today. Olofmeister and Sunny, we did bring that one up, and indeed, both of them managed to put in a performance justifying this head-to-head, and it certainly was great to see Olofmeister at the top of the scoreboard for FaZe.
Yeah, and Olof had a huge clutch on T side. I think it was a 1-on-3, but he actually maybe had a 4K or ace that round, if I remember correctly. He ends up ending the round at the B bomb side after starting at A, winning the 1-on-1 against Snacks. He also had the round second half where they were retaking the A bomb side. The op by Connector catches both of the mid flankers and gets Oscar on A ramp to end it. Those are pivotal plays actually in huge moments.
Yeah, and Sunny as well. He had that 1v4 in the eco round.
Yeah,
that was
20 HP.
That was a huge clutch for him to
saved
make
that
right there.
skin.
So yeah, look. It just sucks for Mousesports to find themselves in this position going up against FaZe. Either of these guys, it was a 50-50 game going into this one. It's who turned up and who played the better Counter-Strike on the day, and it was FaZe here. So just unfortunate now that Mousesports have to battle back through the minor system.
NIP, MIBR, FaZe. They did not get an easy road for Mousesports, and no one's going to be saying that they did. However, it is going to be a real bitter pill coming into the next major cycle when they are going to have to go a battle against all of the stunning talent in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 of Europe, and that's going to be something that they'll be taking some time to reflect upon for sure, and it is our second loss of the tournament for that top 16. Mousesports have been eliminated. Now, you did have a D replay for us.
Yes, and so this one is based off of mid-rounds, and I did say there was a lot of mid-rounds in this game. Now, I think this is what FaZe need to do more of, have more opening moves that can get them into post-plant situations, or at least situations where they can find players in transition. You're going to see a deep connector smoke from Spawn come out from Nico, the connector Molotov as usual. They're also going to be throwing a window smoke and some flashes. Rain's going to push all the way up here and jump on top of that railing. He's going to stay on that railing for a very long period of time. The fact he's able to get here relatively undetected, they should know that he's here. They should have heard those footsteps. He's going to find 2 kills from around this position. He's just posturing while the rest of his teammates are defaulting. He has no help. So there's a lot of emphasis put on this. Gets a kill through the smoke. You don't really expect that to happen. Now the reaction is to retake mid control. He's going to find another kill here as Sunny peers down as the second mid-window smoke clears. He's going to find himself another kill. We'll get traded out, but I want to focus now on what Karrigan does. They're going to go over towards the A bomb site, but Karrigan throws in this 3v4 situation utility towards B. It pulls the rotation of Chris J, puts a lot of pressure on Rops, who does find a nice opening, and now he's going to push on in. This is because Chris J is calling, the flashes are coming over, but Karrigan has come the flank, found that kill. We'll find a second one onto Cat, and this is where the mid-round decision-making and calls of FaZe were nice and crisp to keep things calm in what could have been a very interesting situation.
And it just backs up exactly what you were saying after the G2 game, where you're saying that Counter-Strike Global Offensive is all about that mid-round now. It's all about that split-second decision-making, that changing your mind, that adjusting, and that's a great example of just how quickly things can change and spiral out of control.
And I think that's one of the strengths of FaZe. If they can make sure they have a couple of more opening moves to get them in positions to find the kills, they're going to get them every day. If they're left just doing A executes into a team with full utility, it's even pegging at that point. You want to allow your players who have fantastic aim and intuition to get into the round first, and then they can run away with it. So more of that.
More of that and more of this. We have got your play of the day every day here at the FACEIT Major. We take note of what we consider to be the play of the day. There were so many to choose from, but purely with the context as well of just how much this game meant to Fnatic. It's JW who takes this one with this spectacular 1 versus 3 in the same amount of seconds. Fnatic picked up the win here, and it was not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination versus Vega.
Yeah, I think you can agree with this, Chad. This literally won the game.
100%.
This definitely won the game for Fnatic. They would have lost all of their economy. Vega would have finally had their economy on CT side, which they couldn't get all half. This is such a big play.
And you're 3 people left. You can see there's just the number 1 at the top of your screen, or even just a portrait of JW looking moody. You look at it and you kind of go, all right, here we got this. And then suddenly just this little rat emerges from the smoke. It's brutal. It really is. And it was Fnatic who picked up the win there. Let's check in with our predictions before we give you the draw. It is coming, and I think actually it's already locked in due to the way the Buckhold system does work, and of course Swiss on its own. And okay, I'm happy. I'm happy that Dan... Why did this 4% come from Dan? We need to have a conversation. He keeps beating me by this scrappy percentage. I'll take him in the playoffs.
I've really clawed back today. I'm proud of my efforts. I'm proud of my efforts, but some people have really dipped. I think, Henry with a lot of faith in NIP seems to be haunting him.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for that.
That'll get you every time.
Where are you? Which one are you?
I'm over on the right next to Chad. I'm looking at him.
We're
wondering
tied.
how he's rising.
Look, just on the safe bet, it's all right. I'm hedging.
You're hedging.
That's how I make my
caught
predictions.
Up. Yes, and let's recap today, because if you've just joined us, you've missed one hell of a day of Counter-Strike. We've had it's had its highs and it's had its very low lows, depending on who you've been supporting, and this is the state of affairs. We locked in Complexity, one of the first, in fact, the first team to be going to the top 8, and the first UK player to ever play in front of a UK crowd at a major. That is going to be such a wild ride. Def, of course, from Complexity, the North American organization. organization and roster. Astralis versus Team Liquid was the best game of the day by far. It was world-class Counter-Strike, and we thoroughly recommend you check that out if you want a glimpse of just how good Inferno and Counter-Strike can look. What else, Chad? I mean, there was so much.
I'm just surprised Sean didn't come on the desk wearing his USA flag. Like, the fact that there's 2 North American teams already in the top 8 is ridiculous.
Oh, I already got a Mimi tweet out there.
It was pretty good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've made... I guess the Vega vs Fnatic game was really exciting because of how back and forth it was. It wasn't the prettiest of affairs, but it was an exciting game to have you on the edge of your seat, that's for sure.
Yeah, we just waved goodbye to Mousesports as well if you've just joined us. Cloud9 narrowly surviving, and we'll be seeing more from them tomorrow. And talking of tomorrow, your draw. This is what we have to look forward to tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Complexity and Team Liquid already qualified, and of course Winstrike and Mouse were the first 2 teams eliminated here in London, and this is their records, which means your head-to-heads for tomorrow from that seeding are locked in. Astralis
oh my goodness.
versus MIBR. It's happening. Astralis have already had their fair share of tough games, and it doesn't stop here.
The thing is, I can see Astralis and MIBR both making it out. It's just a shame that they have to play each other in this fashion. You know, if we had different matchups, we could have had Na'Vi, Astralis, and MIBR all go through tomorrow.
Bro, you could have the loser of that game versus FaZe.
Yeah, I think that'll probably filter itself out, I hope, because there's difficult matchups going on. Look, I don't want to predict anything. I don't want to...
This big Hellraisers as well. I'm intrigued by that one.
Yeah, one of those teams is going to advance to the next stage. That's huge for either of those organizations.
Na'Vi Fnatic. Oh, I love that. Did you see Draken's tweet? He said,
oh my god, it's happening!
It's actually happening.
It's actually happening!
It's actually happening. Draken said, what up now, CIS? Bring it, CIS.
So against everyone.
Simple just says, okay.
The final
it's
boss.
Happening.
He's
the final boss of CIS.
He's arrived.
Fudge. That's great. I love that. I'm looking forward to it. And on the other side of things, the elimination games. One of G2 Cloud9, one of Tyloo FaZe, and one of Vega NIP is going home tomorrow. God, tomorrow's going to be...
Oh, NIP Vega.
Yeah, right? PTSD.
Oh my god,
PTSD.
So many storylines.
NIP Vega. For an elimination match.
I can't hold all these storylines.
When did you become such a dank memer? Like you went to meme school in the summer, and he's come
That's where
back.
he goes out. He goes to practice, and he comes in and just throws them all in.
That's incredible. It is. I guess we're done. Are we done?
We're done.
We're done here.
All right, let's say our good nights, because it all comes back tomorrow. The FACEIT Major continues same time, same place. We know you're going to be here, and we'll be here too to enjoy the fantastic Counter-Strike. It's 10:45. You'll be able to join us local time to catch that action, as we're going to have 6 best of ones with some serious implications. Join us then.